everybody. How y'all doing out there? Again, this is Uncle Joe at Uncle Joe at Ain't Sins Entertainment Center right here at 5524 Southport Racine. I'm here to share some more information as I always try to do. I'm not going to attest that my information is perfect or correct or anything like that, but it's my information. I'm going to share it. I also have a guest here today I want to introduce in 1 minute. But before I introduce, I want to tell my sister Sharon, stop staring at this man, Sharon. He's not available. You pay attention to what we're going to say today, okay? Pay attention to what we're going to say. All right, a very important topic. First of all, Mr. Dwayne Ross is here today, and I really thank you, brother, for coming down to Uncle Joe at Ain't Sins Entertainment Center. What I do here is I often get information and I share it to some people on my Facebook page, and hopefully they'll absorb it. Information I brought Mr. Wayne here today to talk to you all about is what is known as sickle cell anemia. What I want you all to do is I want you to take a minute out and think about, or call some of your friends and relatives and ask them, are they aware of sickle cell disease? And I want you to also find out if there's anybody in their families who has that. Find out if there's anybody, call your family members and find out if there's anybody in your family that has sickle cell anemia. I wasn't aware of it until I was like 35 years old when my granddaughter came along, and I became aware of it and I became active. But I want to take a couple minutes just to share. I brought Mr. Dwayne down to share just a little bit of information about this disease with you all, and hopefully we can make it more awareable. If that's a word. Is that a word? Awareable?
We're going to make it. Sounds good to me.
Listen, Dwayne, you have been actively involved with the Sickle Cell organization for how long?
Well, this is our 29th year. Back in 1987, I got involved a year after losing my second sister to sickle cell disease. So at that particular time, I didn't know about any organization that basically catered or focused on persons that suffered from the disease. And I was steered towards this organization. Then it was called MASCA, the Midwest Association for Sickle Cell Anemia. At that particular time, I was introduced to the board of the executive director, Howard Anderson, who's also the founder of the organization.
Wow. Now you say you lost your sister. How old was she?
When Brenda passed away, she was 1 month prior to her 32nd birthday.
Now explain to me, what does that mean? Did she became ill one day, and what is sickle cell?
Sickle cell is a hereditary blood disease that right now, it's known to affect primarily African Americans. It's a disease where your red blood cells are sickle shaped. Everyone knows that your blood cells are oval shaped, but when person suffering from sickle cell, the red blood cells are sickle shaped, and as they flow through the body, unfortunately, because of the fact that they're not oval shaped, a lot of times they get blocked in the veins. And by them getting blocked, that also stops oxygen from being delivered to various organs, because your oxygen is delivered to your brain, your liver, your heart, your kidney via your blood cells.
Wow, a black disease. Wow, primarily a black disease. A lot of people can go on YouTube or Google and find out real specifically more about it. But your sister how old was your sister?
She was about 32, 1 month prior to 32.
Wow, yeah. 32 years old. Wow, what a young. And so many. Are there many people? Does it take the life expectancy?
But back then, the life expectancy, she was considered to have lived a full life at that time for someone with sickle cell, because that was back in 1986 when she passed.
Wow.
We've made strides as of today, but back then, no. As a matter of fact, that was my second sister who passed away.
Wow.
I had a sister, Barbara, who passed away before I was even born. So this was like back in the 50s.
Wow.
So they didn't know anything about it.
Unbelievable. Nobody knows about sickle cell. Why is that? Nobody knows about it. I mean, it must not be a big deal. Nobody hears about it. It's not talked about.
And
why should we worry about it?
That's a good point, Joe. I think what happens is because the level of awareness is not high, it doesn't get the attention. And, taking nothing away from the severity of diseases such as cancer and AIDS and muscular dystrophy and ALS, those diseases are horrific as well. Mm-hmm. However, Some could argue the fact that maybe it's because of the fact that primarily African Americans are affected by it. I would like to think that's not the case, but for whatever reason, sickle cell does not get the level of attention it should.
I guess sickle cell disease is a disease that we are going to have to do something about since it only affects us primarily.
I agree, and that's one of the biggest things for me is helping to raise awareness, overall awareness, but especially awareness in the Black community. Right? You'd be surprised how many of our people still are not fully educated on sickle cell.
Wow. So the first step is to get on the telephone, start calling your relatives, start talking to your family. Find out if there's anybody in your family who has sickle cell. Find out about the sickle cell trait. And then once you become aware, I guarantee you may be more interested in getting involved in this program. What's going on? Sickle Cell has an organization in Chicago, right?
Yes, we have an organization called the Sickle Cell Disease Association of Illinois, located at 8100 Southwestern Avenue.
And how many people knew that? 81st and Western, right in the neighborhood. How many people knew that that's the only organization, am I correct, in the state of Illinois?
That's correct.
That's it's on 80th and 81st. What's the exact address? You know what I'm saying?
8100 Southwestern.
Oh,
right
8100 even,
right,
Southwestern.
81st and Western.
Did you all know that? Did you all know that? Only organization in the state of Illinois. That's becoming aware. That's great. So the first step is to find out if there's anybody in your family or someone's close to you with this disease. The second step is to participate in some of the events. They just recently had a walkathon on the lakefront. When was that?
That was on July 9th. It was we had the starting point at 39th and Lakeshore Drive at Oakwood, and we went far south as far as I think 51st Street. I say I think because I was more the administrator. I didn't walk, but I was there.
Okay.
I was there.
Great. Cool. So this is we're gonna keep this video short for right now, but we're gonna process more in the future. What I want you all to do is go and make those phone calls, and then put a message in my inbox or right on my page, and let me know if you found out more about it. The more people put messages on my page or Mr. Dwayne Ross' page, and let us know and motivate us to keep this thing going, because we got a lot of stuff that we're planning to do to try to make awareness. One more thing before we go. Sickle cell, the association that's located here in Chicago, is in trouble financially.
True.
It may be closing, and when it happens, we're not going to get any better. So what we're going to try to do is try to do some things to do fundraisers and bring it back. It's just as simple as that. It's up to us to do it. We talked about some projects. I think they got one coming up real soon, another fundraiser coming up. I think this one is less of a fundraiser, but a more awareness program. That's
It's going to be more like an appreciation event. It's going to be held on 87th and the Dan Ryan. I'm sorry, 87th and Western, the Dan Ryan Woods.
Yeah.
Right. But now there is another SCDI fundraiser coming up. I'll say that real quick. For you golfers out there, there's a golfing event scheduled in September. I don't remember the exact date, but what you can do, Google the Sickle Cell Disease Association of Illinois. Check their website. It'll show you all of the upcoming events and ways that you can actually support the organization as a whole.
Great idea. And don't forget, put a message in my box, or put a message right on my page, and let me know that you appreciate what we're trying to do. Just say, Joe, Dwayne, we appreciate what you all doing. Keep going. And then that'll motivate us to keep going, because we need motivation, man. It's just the two of us out here, and we need motivation. So thank you all.
Thank you so much,
Dwayne.
Appreciate you.
All right, looking forward to doing some more.
Take care.
See y'all.
All right.
Okay.